There are certain universal truths that just don't change, no matter how many new chips Apple throws at us. 1. Software updates always come right when you're in the middle of something really important. Number 2. Dongles are just Apple's way of taxing the unprepared and the peasants and the poor or brokies. And number 3. Anytime Apple drops a new chip, the hype is louder than a stadium full of vuvuzelas and just as annoying. Which brings us to today's episode. Apple's M5 chip might be a huge letdown. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait, aren't M chips supposed to be the future? The holy grail of performance and battery life? Didn't Apple invent silicon-powered miracles with the M1 and M2? Yep, they did. M1 was a game changer. M2 was a solid follow-up. M3 gave us a taste of that sweet 3nm action. And the M4? Well, that went ruse and dropped first in an iPad. But now it's the M5's turn. And honestly, it might be the Apple's most boring chip yet. Let's start with the most yawn thing ever, performance bumps. The M5 is rumored to offer somewhere around a 15 to 25% increase over the M4. That's it, nothing crazy, nothing groundbreaking, just a little bit faster, a little bit better. It is basically like going from a Honda Civic to a slightly newer Honda Civic. No turbo engine, no neon underglow, just the same car with a new air freshener. And if you are hoping for a shiny new MacBook Pro to drop with it this fall, well, brace yourself. The M5 is expected to debut first in the iPad Pro. Yup, Apple's treating the iPad like the golden child again. Mac users, sit in the back and wait until early 2026. And considering the M4 already went through the same rollout, M4 iPad first, MacBook later, it's not just deja vu, it's a full-on Groundhog Day situation. But wait, it gets even better. The M5 MacBook Pro, no major design changes, no OLED screen, no thinner bezels, no fancy new chassis. It's the exact same thing you've seen for the last couple of years, just with a slightly faster chip inside. Oh, but hey, you might get Wi-Fi 7 and Thunderbolt 5. So yes, that is something new. But is it enough to make anyone upgrade from their M1 or M2 MacBook? Doubtful. Meanwhile, the M5 chip is supposedly going to be used across every single thing. iPads, Macs, Vision Pro, Mac Mini, iMac, probably even your smart toaster. Who in the hell knows? But again, the upgrades across the board, still just performance bumps, still the same look, still the same user experience. It's like Apple took the concept of innovation and then replaced it with a new sticker on the box. Now let's talk about the big fat juicy and wet part. Server grade packaging. Ooh, sounds fancy, right? The Pro, Max and the Ultra variants of the M5 will use something called 2.5D packaging, allowing for better thermal performance and chip stacking. Great if you're running AI workloads or data centers. But for the rest of us normal human beings using Macs for browsing, editing and binging Netflix, it means absolutely nothing. It's like getting a Formula 1 engine in a Prius. You're not even using half that power and paying twice, thrice or 10 times the money. And here's where things start to feel real off. A lot of signs point to the M5 being more about Apple's AI ambitions. Apple intelligence, not artificial intelligence, than actual consumer improvements. The whole chip seems tuned more towards inferencing, machine learning, data center workloads, and server-grade applications. The MacBook Pro just happens to get it as a side effect. And you know what that feels like. Being the kid who only gets birthday cake because your cousin had a party. Thanks, I guess. It's no surprise then that a lot of users are already saying they'll skip the M5 and wait for the M6. And honestly, they might be onto something. The M6 is rumored to bring actual design changes, a thinner chassis, OLED screen, maybe even touch functionality. That's the real juice. That is the leap. The M5 is just the filler episode before the season finale. Let's also talk timing. M1 dropped in 2020. M2 came in 2022. M3 dropped in 2023. M4 early 2024, but only in the iPad. M5 is probably in the late 2025 for iPad and early 2026 for the Macs. That's a long wait for a minor spec bump. So, if you're rocking an M2 MacBook Pro right now, you're not just safe, you are winning. And you know Apple's aware of this too. You can see it in their marketing or lack thereof. They're not pushing the M5 like a revolutionary chip. They're not teasing major upgrades. There's no cinematic trailer with Johnny Ive whispering about aluminium unibodies and molecular bonding. It is quiet. Too quiet. And in Apple's La La Land, that usually means one single thing: underwhelming update. Also, let's not forget the user sentiment. Go online and you will see it. Reddit, Hacker News, Twitter, X. People are already calling the M5 the wait for the M6 chip. Some say the M5 MacBook Air is the most boring Apple update in years. Others joke it's only good for AI training if you're building Skynet in your garage. Most just see no reason to upgrade, and rightfully so. And it's not even the hate, it's indifference. That's worse. People aren't mad, they're just like, meh, whatever, the M5. And for Apple, a company that gets hard and thrives on excitement, that's a very, very, very bad place to be. Apple doesn't want meh. Apple wants excitement and hype and lines around the block. It wants influencers filming unboxings with tears in their eyes. But the M5? Unfortunately, it's just not that chip. Even the people who are hyped are saying they might only buy it for price drops. That's the energy. I'll buy it when it's on sale. And again, that's not how Apple wins. Apple wins by making people pay a premium for the feeling of getting something new. But when the new does not feel new, good luck. Now, in all fairness, let's throw Apple a bone here. The M5 is still a technically impressive chip. TSMC's N3P process is more efficient than the M4's N3E. The packaging improvements could generally help with thermal throttling, and AI power is a big deal, especially with the rise of local LLMs and on-device processing. So yes, there is value. It's just not the kind of value that hits the average user when it counts and where it counts. In fact, the people who should be excited about the M5 are the ones who do the AI work, machine learning, or who genuinely push their Macs to the limit. Those people, they will absolutely be drooling and loving all over it. The rest of us will keep scrolling. So here is my final takeaway. The M5 isn't bad. It's just not exciting. It's not a leap. It's a limp. Something that goes hard and then limp. It's a careful, quiet shuffle towards or forward while everyone else is expecting fireworks. And the worst part? It might be exactly what Apple wants, because the M5 isn't about blowing your mind and your whatever. It is about holding the line until the M6 changes their game again. So, if you're thinking about upgrading, ask your big fat brain this. Do you want the next MacBook Pro, or do you want the MacBook Pro? Because the M5 might be the former, but the M6, that might be the one worth waiting for. Anyway, that's all the Apple garbage I've got for today. If you enjoyed this rant, consider smashing the like button before Apple replaces it with a subscription fee. Stay safe, stay skeptical, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.